Hi Engineering Janta, I am Vaibhav Shukla and today we are trying to do a mock interview for the TCS NQT. This is for the reference of all the students so that they can prepare well and they can understand and comprehend what exactly is generally asked in the TCS NQT interview. Henceforth, you will be watching a candidate giving an interview, and here the whole interview process would be simulated for you so that you can take references from it. So hi Manan, how are you?
Hi sir, I'm fine. What about you?
I'm good, yaar. I'm good. So I hope you're ready for your TCS NQT interview.
Yes sir.
Fine. So the point is, today we'll be having some technical discussion with you. Consider it a free-flowing conversation. And if somewhere you get stuck, simply switch to the language you're comfortable in. And once you feel that you've conveyed the ideas, come back to the English as soon as possible. Is it clear?
Yeah, sure sir.
Great. So introduce yourself to me for a while and then we'll go ahead.
Hi, good morning sir. My name is Manan. I'm a final year B.Tech computer science student with data science specialization. I have done an internship at Brain Mentor Private Limited. It is based in Noida, where I have learned big data analysis. And apart from my internship, I have done a few projects such as customer segmentation, Netflix executive analysis, stock price prediction, and speech emotion recognition.
Great one, and that's good to hear from you, and it's really good that you've done so many projects. Fine. Now let's move ahead to the technical discussion, and I hope you're comfortable discussing about data structures and algorithms.
Yes sir.
So let's talk a bit about stacks and queues. What's the difference between them?
So basically stack is a collection of element in a form of LIFO. LIFO is last in first out, and queue is a collection of element in the form of FIFO. FIFO is first in first out. If I give example of a stack, then we can say that we have a stack of plates in our kitchen, and example of queue we can say that people waiting to enter a bus.
Okay. So tell me one thing, that have you studied OOPS concepts? Because here in your resume, I can see a few things related to it. So simply I'm asking you, have you studied about OOPS, object oriented programming?
Yes sir.
Okay. So tell me a bit about polymorphism first, and in context of that, explain me what's function overloading.
Polymorphism is a we can say that it is a concept like where two functions work in parallel way, and if we say that overloading is that function one or two more sorry, we have a parent class there, and one or more functions are not working properly.
Are you sure this is function overloading?
Yes sir.
Fine. Let's proceed ahead. So what you can do is open up a notepad in your screen and start presenting your screen, as simple as that. And in that, write a code for me in whatever language you're comfortable in. First of all, tell me in which language you're comfortable in.
Python.
Okay, so you're comfortable in Python. Do one thing. Write a program to find the second largest element in an array, and in Python you give me a code and I'll analyze how good is it.
Sure sir. Done, sir.
Okay. So are you sure about this code?
Yes, sir.
Fine, Manan. We'll proceed with the interview further. So I'd like to talk about a few projects of yours that I can see in your resume. You've built speech emotion recognition, right?
Yes.
And alongside that, you've built some customer segmentation.
Yes.
So you've used support vector machines, you've used deep neural network, you've used logistic regression. So tell me a bit about support vector machines first.
So basically, support vector machines are the machine learning algorithm which is used for uh, analyzing the data, which is used for analyzing the audio data.
That's it about support vector machines?
Yes.
Fine, Manan. What's matplotlib then?
Matplotlib is a library in Python which helps in the graphical representation of the data. Like it helps to make us bar chart, pie chart, and many more graphs present in Python.
Okay. So Manan, let's shift a bit to your CS fundamentals. Fine, let's shift to the computer science, whatever you've studied in your college. So tell me a bit about operating systems. Fine. And in that, specifically the fact that I want to know is about deadlocks. What exactly are deadlocks?
So deadlock is a condition where two or more resources want to move forward but they cannot move together.
This is how you have to elaborate deadlocks. Are you sure with this answer or do you want some additions to it?
It is the brief about deadlock. And
Go ahead, elaborate. Explain to me how deadlock works.
so if we want two resources to do the same function, so if we'll send them both together, then there will be a traffic which is known as deadlock. So to prevent that traffic, we should first send the first resource and then the second resource.
Manan, alongside that, if that is what you can explain about deadlock, tell me about resource sharing then. What exactly is resource sharing and what is resource sharing graph?
Resource sharing graph is basically the graphical representation which tells us that how and where is the deadlock occurred, and it also helps us in prevention of deadlock.
Okay, so Manan, let's shift a bit to the computer networks, and in that, tell me the difference between OSI versus TCP model.
OSI is TCPI and OSI. TCPI is a
Not TCPI, it's TCP.
okay, sorry. So TCP is a 7-layer protocol, and OSI is 4-layer protocol. 7-layer protocol.
Are you sure you're speaking correctly? TCP is 7 layer and OSI is 4 layer. Are you sure about this?
Yes.
Okay. Manan, as far as I know, OSI is a 7 layer computer network protocol. TCP, however, is not a 7 layer protocol. Generally, 4 to 5 layers are there in TCP protocol. Okay. So go ahead, tell me the other differences.
So TCPI uses three-way handshaking, whereas OSI does not follow three-way handshaking. And if I further elaborate about three-way handshaking, it means that sender, acknowledgement, and the receiver. Like if we send any request, so he's the sender, and if the receiver is receiving that, so then he'll acknowledge that I have received the request, and after receiving the request, he'll acknowledge that, and then he'll send back the request to the sender after completing the job.
So Manan, do you know a bit about SQL?
Yes.
Okay. So write a piece of code in SQL for me where from an employee table, the table name is employee, fine. In that table, you have to fetch me two things. One is the second highest salary and the name of the person who is drawing that second highest salary. Fine. Go ahead, write it out.
Sure. Done, sir.
Cool, fine, I get it. And now, Manan, tell me a bit about joins. What are joins first? And what's the difference between left join and right join in SQL?
So joins are basically to connect two tables, and left join is like if we have two different tables and if we want that table to join from the left part of the table, so we'll use left join, and if we want to join the right part of the table, then we'll join the right part. And apart from this, we have an inner joint as well, and in which inner joint is basically like if we have uh, one common table, one common column in both the tables, so we'll use inner joint to join that table.
Okay. Alongside that, Manan, I would like to know a bit from you about the concept of keys. Fine, so tell me what's the difference between a primary key and foreign key?
Primary key is basically the we can say that it is the main key in the table, and foreign key is supported by primary key.
What exactly is key? First of all, tell me that.
Keys are basically we can say that connectors.
If keys are connectors, then how does primary key is the main key, and then how does foreign key support the primary key? Fine, I get you that you're trying to tell that foreign key supports primary key. However, it might not be the realistic case while talking about databases. But first of all, tell me what exactly they do. What is the purpose of having a primary key, or what is the purpose of having a foreign key?
Primary key is basically like which is present in both the two tables.
Okay, fine, I get it. So that's pretty much about your interview, Manan, and I have concluded a few things, and I'll be sharing those with the leadership and the senior leadership. Whatever business requirement you fit into, we'll be conveying the same to you. Wishing you the all the best for the further results, and I hope that you learn from your mistakes and you perform even better in further interviews. And I'll really wish that somehow or the other you fit into our requirements. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you, sir.
So, hi Manan, welcome back. Ready for your feedback?
Yes, sir. I'm excited but a bit nervous because I know I have done a few mistakes.
Fine. So, let's discuss a bit about your positives as well as your negatives. Fine. So, you have a decent confidence. However, I'll tell you to build it up even more and be clear in the communication, number one. Secondly, the positive that I liked was that your coding was actually decent. Coding skills were not bad. But alongside that, one very big con that I realized was that you were trying to answer the questions that you don't know. Fine. When you don't know, comfortably say I am not aware about it. Fine. Lying is not the best option generally in an interview. Number one. Fine. Alongside that, Manan, there are a few things that I would like to point out. So I was going through your resume, and your resume is not at all ATS friendly. Number one, no margins, no proper justification in the resume of the text, and no quantification at all. So that's a big problem as a recruiter for me. When I see a resume like this, I feel you've not invested enough in your resume. Fine. Alongside that, there is no quantification that I can see, and with that, you've not studied your resume enough. Learn about the technologies that you've written in bold letters in your resume. Fine. Specifically, at least those you should know through and through. Your projects you should know through and through. Fine. I didn't even ask you to explain a project. Why so? Because when I asked you a technology which was being used in your project, you couldn't explain in a very good manner. Fine. So that is where you need to work a lot. Alongside that, I would suggest you that you work hard on your computer science fundamentals as well. Fine. There you're lacking a lot. In SQL, a lot of concepts were missing. Joins, keys, you need to study again. Realistically speaking, you need to study OSI and TCP. This is the first topic or the question that you generally cover in computer networks. So your CS fundamentals portion is very, very shaky. You need to improve on that. And coming to the OS portion, which was operating systems, there also the explanations are not sufficient. They are not good, and I'll expect that you perform better there. Fine. I didn't ask about a lot of object-oriented concepts. I didn't ask about inheritance, about various things. Fine. The reason was the function overloading wasn't explained in a very conclusive manner. So therefore, I can conclude that object-oriented programming is not very good with you. Fine. So you need to work on those skills. So I hope that feedback helps you to improve.
Yes, sir. I'll work on that. And for resume also, refer you for. I'll ask you to help me out.
Also, Man, speaking about your SQL code, I did not point out at that point of time because I wanted to know more from you about SQL. I wanted to know how good you are. Your coding skills are good enough. You crack things well, but you have to listen to the interviewer very carefully what I'm asking. Fine. Look at your SQL code. There, you have put the greater symbol, right? And I had asked that I need second highest salary from you. Fine. So from the maximum salary, it should be lesser. Fine. And you have deployed the greater than symbol there. So that's a carelessness that might cost you your whole interview because this would not produce the desired output. There you need to work a lot. So I hope that helps you out when you go to the proper interview. I hope you'll keep this in the mind.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure.
So I hope it was a decent experience for you, and I hope you'll learn from your mistakes. You have the Prep Insta Prime subscription, so that would help you out even better. Go ahead, do some practice of SQL, brush up your CS fundamentals from there, and alongside that, do one thing, that HR interviews and puzzles and guesstimates should be practiced by you. So go ahead, practice them out. Fine. Will you do that?
Yes, sir. I'll do.
Great. Have a wonderful day ahead. Bye bye. Take care. And to all the students, I wish all the best for their upcoming interviews.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your feedback.